said, they did play some quality teams, Lacoste, in the qualifiers, and beat Mineski pretty easily. Beat Clutch Gamers twice in that qualifier as well, and they had some good players on the team. So they've played good teams in their region. I know it's different when you come to LAN and you're a long way from home, though.
Maybe they're a little bit inexperienced with the lands, but we can't really take anything away from them. They're really playing a nice Dota. They just need a different approach during the draft. Try not to go for those kills. Maybe pick more team fight-oriented lineup.
That's why Beastmaster is going to be banned every game against, like in this tournament. I think it's just, if you're a team that's struggling to find an identity or like a way to play Dota, you just pick Beastmaster. Because then all of a sudden this idea, oh, I don't know what carry to pick, like give me Juggernaut. It's fine, you have a Beastmaster.
Oh, I thought if you didn't know what to play and it weren't banned, you picked PA Magnus.
Well, sure, but that's definitely getting banned.
It seems like Boom ID came prepared. They have some cheesy strats as well. Meepo was banned out, Broodmother as well. We don't see too much of a Brood at all.
I think if you're a team like Boom, you got to try and find a way to force what's the like a game where talent and outplays will matter. You know, force a skirmish heavy game where your carry will inevitably like take off and win it for you. Not a Juggernaut.
I feel like they were just close. They were close. They just needed a hero that could then win the game. Like Jug ain't it. But I kind of think they thought maybe he'll be able to help out early on in the fight. He'll be relatively hard to kill because of spin TP. You know, we won't just we can ditch. He's going to be a guy we're going to ditch, and we're going to go off and do stuff. And you'll need to be okay on your own. Jug, that's your job. But then, where does he come from to then win the game? That's the issue.
That's why I like because I had like the same issues trying to game plan with when I was playing with Complexity for the years. Like, there were a lot of times we were either going to be outclassed like as individuals, or you're going to play like a team that's probably better than you, right? And if they're better players, you don't have many options other than to put your players in a position to succeed. So like one of our go-tos that worked a couple times, like Sniper Slark, as an example, is a core combo, where it's very easy for these two players now to play around one another and win the game. They're going to progressively get much stronger as the game goes on. The Slark's going to hunt stuff. The Sniper chills, he farms, he shows up, you take these fights, and it's all good. It doesn't, like, you can't do that same thing with a Juglina. You're in a position where you're forced to be the aggressor. You need the kills. You need to continue just snowballing forwards, and you just won't win games of Dota consistently if you're all in.
Maybe the reason why Boom ID is picking the way they are is they probably think OG is a better team, they respect them, but they pick the heroes that they feel comfortable playing with. That's their strength. So you end up with a lineup that on a big scale they can't really take objectives.
First pick about to be coming in from Boom ID, but interesting, the OG have banned their own Earth Spirit.
I think you got to. It's the best first pick hero in Dotes at the moment. I think it's actually ahead of Wisp.
I mean, there's a Magnus PA in the pool.
There is. Could just go Mag PA. Could also take Rubik if they want to.
So presumably Boom ID want the gyro.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to pull. So OG
Rubik's Mag.
Okay.
Grimstroke.
Alright.
It's Grimstroke. Wow.
That combo is pretty good. The double Lich Elf with the Grim.
And it's easy to execute. One of the better supports when you're playing against IO plus whatever is Undying, double decay, pretty much always in the laning stage, and the Lich ulti. They're standing close to each other.
Radiant team back.
Again with the tiny.
Let's go old school.
This is a No-Tail classic. So I wonder if this is a respect pick, you know?
We're going to mimic what you used to do 4 years ago. Is it boring you that much, Kyle? IO Tiny?
I don't know. This is the sort of thing I struggle with.
It still might not be.
Well, I just don't really know, like, how to do my job here. That's all. Like, you know, the Dota.
I feel you're doing it.
Yeah.
He was just questioning the yawn, because obviously we're a little tired.
Yeah. We're very tired. We had long days.
The Dota community is tough to please, okay? A lot of these guys watching the stream right now, they've been following Dota for years. They don't need me to explain how IO Tiny works. No one needs me to explain how Lich Grimstroke works, and no one needs to be reminded that OG won TI.
But you don't just need to pander to the majority of people.
True.
There's also people out there that are tuning in to watch OG because they love No-Tail. I know people that pretty much only watch. So maybe we could just eulogize about that and talk about how great that is and all the rest of it. Do that too. We've got to appeal to the mass.
But then there's going to be people that don't like N0tail. I'm surprised there wasn't a thread. I was like 15 minutes, not even, like 10 minutes into that game. I'm like, I'll bet you there's already people talking about how OG's washed up and like the worst TI winners ever. And what do you know? I check out, oh wow, there's already some of this out there.
They hadn't even lost the first game at that point.
But doesn't that show you can't please everybody? You win a TI and within less than 150 days,
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Well, people have been saying that for years. I don't think you can pander to any audience. You just have to
tell me about it, dude. But I'm trying to like.
Here's one for you. Huh? Is N0tail the greatest Dota player of all time?
We were talking about this actually, weren't we? Yeah. The other day about given what he's won.
Yeah.
I think that's
turn to ban.
It's almost impossible to answer because there's too many criteria.
Sure.
Are we talking about the best individual skill, the best teammate?
The most successful, the most prize money, the most wins.
Prize money, tournaments won, placement, how they've done individually. If you were to add up the performance on their heroes over all the tournaments, it's such a big statistic.
Is it also harder, even though Dota is a relatively young game in terms of most sports, as in it's only been around Dota 2 for the last 8 years, is it also hard to compare players that did well early on, players like Dendi, for instance, in comparison to players like Arteezy or players like N0tail? Years gone by. Is it hard? Impossible?
Well,
compare them?
I think they're different because N0tail was never this guy that was this unstoppable superstar. He wasn't able to be that because of his role in strategy development and a lot of times as a sacrificial carry, as a support. He's the guy that's just trying to win the games as a team. Like, that's it. Miracle has the luxury of, I'm a Dota player, I'm going to play Dota, be the best. You can't do that if you're in N0tail's shoes. Thus, as the years go by, he never looked like a standout player in my eyes. Was N0tail ever in conversation as like de facto top 3 at his role? Outside of maybe that little stint on Secret when he was playing support with Fly. Like,
you know what I feel like he's
they won majors. People still didn't think he was
been at a club. Maybe he's played at 2 clubs his entire career. He's got like 750 career appearances. Hardly ever injured. Doesn't score that many goals. When he does, it tends to be pretty spectacular. And he's a club legend.
He's the Ryan Giggs.
Hold him up there with Pele.
He's the Ryan Giggs of Dota 2. Still great.
Player.
He wasn't a Pele. He wasn't Maradona. He wasn't Zico. He wasn't one of those top players.
That's true.
No one understands football at this point, guys.
Hey, there's plenty of people.
Hold on. Like, a lot of people tuning in understand football. It's just you, Cole.
I do understand. I'm just saying.
Don't understand.
You're going down the list. Once you get to like,
what I'm saying is, play with
if
hands.
We're getting into English, in air quotes here, football legends, like no one understands.
English football legends. They're international football legends.
Yes, indeed. We haven't actually.
Well, sure, but
we haven't had named a single English footballer, which shows your level of knowledge.
So, I don't want to get to that point.
Ryan Giggs.
Huh?
Ryan Giggs.
I'm not sure Ryan Giggs is appropriate. He was a flashy flair player. I'm talking the steady Eddie, midfield general type, super reliable.
Yeah, Gerard, all right. Like, we know how it works.
No, Gerard? No. Gerard's also a club legend.
Yeah. He was overrated anyway.
OG go for the mag. The mag jug. I'm a big fan. I like that they went jug first too because they expect BoomID might take it, and it's just like also a hard counter to the Lich Grimstroke because you just spin off their entire kits.
That ET also gives away the Tiny as a core, right?
Yes.
And I love the ban coming out from OG Luna. I've seen this when the new patch came out. Navi was playing at this tri-lane. Luna, Io, and Tiny. It's so efficient, so good. I don't think you can't win. Luna gets 2 points in Lunar Blessing. Tiny becomes so tanky. Wisp as well, strength hero. It's impossible to kill, and harassment coming up from Tiny, extra damage as well.
There's a first play.
I like that pick. To your point, Lacoste, I think Io Luna is the best combo at the moment.
Yeah.
But I like Morph here, especially with ET. I feel like mixed damage cores are ideal when you're playing with this Elder Titan. And when you have an E-Blade Morph or even just the adaptives thrown out on a hero with 0 magic armor, it's going to be a ton of damage. They're in melee range, you smack him in the face. You're doing, like, Jug walks up with his 22 +3 armor. It's actually just that +3 when you walk up and try and hit a Morph thing next to an Elder Titan. And you do live through this burst of OG pretty effectively as well. Great synergy with the Morph.
I feel like this is going to be an ideal Magnus game. You have pretty much everyone is a melee hero. Morph, Io. Since Io is paired up with the hero, it's going to be easy to land RPs.
Andrea Pirlo, that's what I'm going to say. Andrea Pirlo. Really quality builder. But
He was a great player.
yeah, he was. He was. And No-Tail is a great player.
I'd put Giggs under Pirlo. I wouldn't put him above him.
How about Xavi, guys? Xavi?
Xavi? Yeah,
remaining.
I could see that.
Yeah. Iniesta.
Like, who is quality?
Iniesta.
Here,
Iniesta?
That's who he is.
Xavi's better. Here's my
That's
question.
what my point is he's Iniesta is the one club kind of guy that's been there forever, a great player, played internationally. Nobody ever cares about him, nobody does anything about him in a match. You don't go into a match go.
They just can't. I think that's the thing.
You think?
That's the thing. Like Pirlo sat so deep, you know, he could dictate the game. He wasn't like you had a game plan based around Pirlo. That's what I'm saying.
I like this, Ted, because we've got two English people on the.
We can talk about football.
We talk about football, whereas these guys normally talk about NBA and NFL and stuff like that.
I think Lacoste likes football.
What do you mean? I'm cosmopolitan.
Yeah,
I like all the
watched football
sports.
before. I don't watch it anymore, but still have some knowledge. But back to the Dota, huh? Kyle?
Tom Brady?
Dude, here's a question. Okay, how would you determine the GOAT? I would argue that you really can't determine a GOAT in most sports because there's different eras, thus it's a different game. Dota is kind of in that area too, where
it's very difficult.
there is like the it's like the pre-technology era compared to like now when you try and compare
I totally get it. My point would be, is Dendy the greatest Dota 2 player of all time, or is Miracle the greatest? And the difficulty is, it's very difficult to argue either or, actually, because of eras. And then if you take the first 3 years of Dota's life, you'd have to say Dendy. There is no one else. Yeah. Puppy's the only other one that you could say is in there, but it was Dendy was the playmaker, right? So for the first 3 years of Dota's life, he's probably the greatest player. But overall, over the last 8 years, his 3 years compared to Miracle's 3 years, even though he won more. Probably not.
This is going to be a fun one.
Anyway, a discussion for more other times. We've got a final pick from Topson, and it's a Timsaw.
I like it. I like the mid effect of the Timbersaw. I don't think it was an appropriate game for it to be any other role. And if they weren't going to lose the first game, I don't know how they're going to lose this one, although I do think Boom ID have a lot more refined win conditions. It's like such a complex draft they're trying to play. I don't know.
Difficult one to execute.
Yeah, it's going to be too hard to kill anybody again, I feel.
Okay, well, you've already been given OG on your prediction, so I guess that's fine. Lacoste?
I'll go with OG as well. I think this is a free Timbersaw game, no counters for him. He's going to have a good matchup no matter what they put against him. I just hope he doesn't get a Bloodstone on the hero, because this item's pure garbage, and Topson is one of the few players who always think out of the box, have different kind of item builds, so I'm expecting else from him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to get RP'd, they're going to get Grimstroke ulted, Lich ulted, and then you've also... Twice. You've got
two Jug ulties
without any way to stop it, and double Jug ulti and everything. Well, it's going to be... I'm going to say it's going to be cleaner than last.
Okay, alright. Yeah. So OG clean sweep. 3 out of 3 as far as the panel members are concerned. Let's find out what Toby and Syndrome think as far as their predictions go as well. Gents, Toby, I might also add that you're not doing particularly well so far.
Really?
Yeah, it was 50% yesterday.
I've predicted but two games.
However, you are doing better than Kyle.
Your percentage is low because you only predicted two games.
So my percentage is now 66%.
Yeah.
0.6 recurring.
You're going up all the time. So what do you want to do here? Do you want to stick with OG or?
We're sticking with OG.
Okay.
OG have such a simple to execute draft this time around. There's less early game pressure on them. It should be OG this game.
All right.
I could see Boom ID get destroyed this game. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with OG.
Okay. All right. Well, it's all yours. Take us away to game number 2.
Thank you, Red. Thank you. I feel like I was just unharshly picked on. You're doing really poorly. You've predicted one series.
You're doing really poorly with your 2-1 prediction score.
Yeah.
It's because others have better scores, but they also predicted more games.
Yeah.
But you can bend statistics any way you like. You suck. Woo!
Thanks, Cinderin. I love it. You know what? I'm just looking to be part of a casting pair that has very low expectations.
Yes. Oh, you'd be great on that dating clip.
Yeah, I'd be great, except I'm in a very nice relationship that I want to move away from. OG, they're going for their aggression, but thanks to the fact that you already had Bavarian move back underneath the tier 2 tower, it was a quick jump away from the IO with his tether, but this now means that the bottom runes now belong to OG. They have completely abandoned their jungle.
So let's quickly talk about how Boom ID adapted from Game 1 to this Game 2. So we said in Game 1 they didn't really have good enough teamfight conditions, and this time around they've got some more. They've got the Elder Titan Kunkka. The problem is, I still think even with these two heroes, OG's teamfight looks absolutely insane. And they have this very tanky front line in the Timber that for now looks manageable for Boom ID with their magic burst, but when Timber more than likely will get a hood in this game against these heroes and perhaps a secondary tanking item, he's going to be difficult to go on. And anytime this Radiant hero combination tries to combine on a hero, they always run the risk of getting Soulbind Chain Frosted or of getting RP'd, and it's just...
Is Jirax actually looking to solo up the creep wave? Can even potentially get some farm here because N0tail's rotating over. They did the same thing in Game 1 with these two, looking for kills.
That's a lot of damage he's
Have they actually, like, they've totally zoned out the bottom. Like, N0tail is still holding back Io, who's over in the tree line. He does not have support. Morphling went to the top with the ET, and Tiny is walking to the bottom lane. Jirax will arrive, but N0tail's already got the first blood.
Okay. I think he had tangos on him and a Fairy Fire, but didn't cut his way out. Maybe he just wanted to die? I don't know if that was good or not, actually. Sometimes dying is the best option. Like, you get back to lane with full regen, you reset, but I'm not sure if there was a play there from Joken to get out. Anyway, he did get killed. OG with the aggressive dive once again, like you said. This top lane... Morph Elder Titan sounds pretty bad to me on paper. Like, this lane doesn't have any natural synergy. Elder Titan wants to play super aggressive, but Morph can't really match and back him up very much in the beginning. And they don't have any reliable disable. So I see OG being in a good position in this lane. Morphling is a kind of hero who is relatively weak until he hits at least level 3, sometimes even level 5. And you see the problem right here. Yep, he is getting bullied by N0tail. Good response from KezCute though, obviously hitting really hard. So you could look at it with the glass half full perspective that, well, maybe they don't have the best synergy for killing, but at least Elder Titan can somewhat protect the Morphling. It's just not looking too good for now, that lane.
ILTV didn't want to start diving underneath the tower. The salve is being burnt on the Tiny. Not exactly the most efficient way they want to use their regeneration when you have an IO in the lane. Other fun lanes being the mid lane. Thompson going up against Mikoto.
Yep.
Where the CS is rather even though Kunkka has a couple of extra denies. But this is a Timbersaw early on who's still able to match blow for blow against what should be a harassing Tidebringer.
Yeah. Historically, this lane has been very Timbersaw favored, but recently, after a lot of the buffs that Kunkka got, he has way more of an ability to contest, especially on denies early on with the Tidebringer points. Eventually, though, when Timbersaw hits level 6, especially, this lane gets really difficult for Kunkka, so he has to try to take advantage of his better damage to get a lot of denies, hit level 6 first, and then call a gank, so that they can kill the Timber before he hits 6.
They're spinning again on bottom lane. Tether actually has to go the opposite way from Joken. Jirax will be able to hit that slow, thanks to the Stroke of Fate. And Io is over into the tree lines, and Jirax, well, he can't follow up.
Nice play from Joken there. That was a really good tether. Off to the right.
Yeah. He had nowhere back to go. Like, he couldn't reach the tier 1 in like, there was nothing to tether to with the tier 1.
Yeah. Man, I'm not feeling this Morph's game right now,
man. He does not have a waveform available. He has an ET who can stomp to create a little bit of space.
Yeah.
But N0tail's got, like... Okay, I suppose he can Frost Shield or Frost Blast. Either choices are there. I'm still more concerned what happens once the Lich starts getting earlier levels, able to combine not only with Grimstroke, but you give that Frost Shield over to the Timbersaw and just let Timber continuously dive in.
Yeah. He's going to be a tanky frontliner with his own tank item in a hood, probably, and then there's a good chance that Magnus in this game from Seb will be buying the team items like last game. He'll get a Vlad, he'll probably get maybe he'll even get a Pipe too, because again, you look at this Radiant lineup, damage types, it's really heavy magical based. Morphling as a carry, is a magical damage carry unless it gets a lot of farm, and in this game it just doesn't seem likely that the Morphling is going to have a great time. He's actually doing surprisingly okay, to be honest. He's 16-1 here, but still losing the lane to Magnus overall.
Jirax is rotating into the mid. He did do it underneath a Radiant Observer ward, but Kunkka, it's I don't know if he saw it coming. Topson's been preparing this damage for a while.
Oh, nice.
But he has the range, the movement speed at least, to get away. Then again, I think Jirax wants to keep following through.
Just going to zone him off here. There's going to be some good damage on the tower and a lot of pressure.
He's actually X-marking TPing.
Yeah,
I don't know
to heal up.
I don't know if Jirax saw it or if they want to do anything about it.
He couldn't. So he's coming back, and now
he came back before he fully
if he dies
healed.
here, this is bad news. He used his TP. Dying here is actually just flat out lane losing. He cannot die here.
Jirax doesn't have the stroke of fate, but he has the stun to allow.
That is really bad news for Boom ID. He used his TP to X mark and refill, and then died. So when he comes back, Timbersaw is going to be almost level 6. This lane is now effectively just flat out lost. OG are winning all 3 lanes in this game, which is probably a bad sign for them because they like losing their lanes and winning a game. Maybe if they win the lanes, they lose the game.
Well, this is the ultimate way to get around OG.
Let us win.
give him a good start, and they can never come back.
Yeah, true. Or you do it the Gambit way and just don't let them come back. That's another way.
ET is looking towards the mid. I don't think he realized how much support was arriving. Both the supports, Notel and Jirax, playing together. And there's that Frost Shield onto Topson. No one can stay close.
He'll get his level 6 here if they leave him alone. Right now the 3 heroes sharing the XP, and it looks like they will back off, at least with the Grimstroke for now. Or maybe not, they want to fight still.
They're keeping the catapult alive, like Topson was tanking the tower to ensure the catapult keeps bumping into the tier 1 tower. But Topson's got 15 charges of that reactive armor. That's a lot to get through, and the Frost Shield's just about to come back off cooldown. So Io and Kunkka, they've rotated in towards the mid to keep the defense up. Without the Chakram, maybe Topson doesn't have the power to push through, and they will deny the mid tier 1 tower. Jirax was looking for the quick hit, won't get it however. Stomped up instead to follow through his there thanks to the torrent. Jirax just wants to slow them all down and get the extra range. The whirling depth, they're going to pull it back in with the X-mark spot, but Notel looking over towards the Elder Titan. The Topson's going for the Io and Kunkka combination. That's not going to really be enough. So they tether over to the ET, who can now look to potentially battle into the Lich.
This is
maybe a little bit more tentative about it as Topson does hit his 6.
This is a 6-minute mid tower, even if it gets denied. This really important centerpiece in map control is lost that early. So I would say OG are in a really big lead here. Even though it's just 1k on the gold, it's more like the flow of the game and how this is going to go with Timbersaw just exploding out of this mid lane, closing in on level 7. He will be almost invincible when he gets a hood. And I still do believe Topson will go for that after his mana boots here. But we'll see. It's looking rough for Boom ID, man. They're not really... There's no real silver lining to find right now. Except if they do find a key kill bottom, that would help out. But
they were looking for it, but with the spin up from the Juggernaut, there's like Tiny can't really get into him, and he couldn't reach the healing ward. That's why he came up to begin with. I think Topson's looking for his own kill, thanks to the fact they have the Observer Ward. They could see the Kunkka. Chakram will slow him down. Notel gonna get the Frost Shield over. It's a good torrent to connect over on 2, but the Frost Shield still continues the slow, pulling back in with a Sinister Gaze, and with a Chakram slowdown, again, this Kunkka just cannot move. Maybe on bottom lane they'll have a better chance as they toss in the Juggernaut. He's already used his Omnislash, and with the Wisp Spirits hitting the edge of the Jugger, they do some damage, but it's really not enough.
He still had the Blade Fury ready just in case they were pursuing there, so...
And they're going to Shrine up
no threat on him. Yep. Shrine up to full, and Topson is doing whatever he wants. We haven't talked too much about the top lane. Seb and Fervian are both farming. He's trying to...
Is he trying to bait that?
Take him out here.
Well, Morphling. Oh! He waveforms over! Skewer is available. Jirax will arrive, but he's going to push him back underneath the tier 1 tower. They're going to find that extra damage that's done from Jirax. Well, it doesn't have to connect. They have the damage anyway. It's, well, they won't know that RP's down, at least. He did it in the fog of war.
He probably knows. He probably knows. Yeah, look at this, man. Kunkka is throwing out Ghost Ship to try to harass Topson. He's like...
Don't care.
Nice try, kid. going back to some extra jungle farm. It's these games as Timbersaw feel so satisfying. It's like playing God, you know, 8 minutes in.
No one can kill me. It's like the Broodmothers who are always like, there's nothing that counters me.
They need literally 3 or 4 heroes to have a chance, and it's not even a guaranteed kill if he has reactive armor running. So he's playing super aggressive, and even if he dies to a 3 or 4 hero rotation, it's not even the biggest loss in the world because of how much space he's creating. So at least a nice killer for Boom!ID. They find the Lich.
Yep.
Trying to connect over on Jugger as well. Obviously spells have been expended, so can't get him.
And they managed to get the healing ward too, so Juggernaut won't have the easy heal up. That's the Eye with 3 points up in Spirits and 4 points in the toss from Tiny. Just trying to find that quick combination. Trouble now in mid lane. Kunkka just wants to get the hell out of here. It's the ship, tries to buy a little bit of time, but silenced up. Avalanche, Tiny. He really seems to be the one, FBZ, to do the work for Boom!ID. Support arrived from Io, tethering down, but he doesn't have a lot of regeneration. 3 stick charges to share between them, but that won't stop the Tiny from turning around, beating into Jirac, but the trade-off is still going to be a 1-for-1 for the supports, and Topson wants to find more. He is forcing the heavy rotations, exactly what you were talking about, and he's unleashed his own Dire Observer ward. Seb will arrive, the Shockwave is well off target. But Timbersaw just cannot be stopped. Empower him up, sure, why not?
It's not even close. A lot of the times, this makes Timber one of the most dangerous 10th picks in the game. If you don't have the right solutions for him, you can itemize a Lotus, or not a Lotus Orb, a Spirit Vessel, but obviously Timbersaw can counter-itemize as well if he wants to. You can get Euls or Lotus Orb to get rid of it. So maybe you can hit like a minor timing where you can kill him, but if you don't have the draft tools to deal with this hero in this kind of situation, it's tough. He's playing against 4 strength heroes, and they can't deal with him.
Omnislash just dodges the ship, at least there's a little less damage coming into him, but getting rid of the Silent Stick, but now into Spin as well, under the tier 1 tower. It's a little too easy for ILTV. But I'm watching the mid. RP is up. Seb is looking for his own opportunity. May want a little bit of help, and here it comes inside the Timbersaw. Okay, it's continuously stunned. The ET split will be able to crunch both of them down. The RP to catch out too, and then Jirac combines it together. The double silence. Everyone's fates are connected. And that is Tiny ET down. Kunkka's already gone, and it looks like Io is going to end up in the same position. Jirac with the triple kill. Topson even making sure he can survive by taking the aggro of the tower. A little too easy for OG in game 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to... I feel like Boom!ID have to make some kind of ridiculous moves almost at this point, where they...
Like 5-man top lane or something?
Not really maybe that crazy, but I think you might have to just accept that this Timbersaw is a problem. As we see the replay of the fight here, Mad actually, or Seb, tried to set himself up with Shockwave Skewer, kind of mistimed it, didn't even matter. The heroes are way too tanky and they're not dying in this situation, so didn't need to combine it perfectly. I think you might just have to accept, okay, Timbersaw God is going to stand mid, and we have to put pressure elsewhere on the map. If you keep gravitating toward Timbersaw's lane, you're just going to lose the game there. Oh, Seb got canceled on the TP. Nice kill.
This is back to line for the bottom of your screen where Seb died. And then up towards top. Wolfling. That's adaptive strike to Timbersaw away. There's no tail. Okay, sure. Commits the Chain Frost to get the kill onto the Lich. It's a big clean. Relocate in from the Ire as well as Tiny trying to do something more about this. Okay! Goodbye, Ire! They could not get through the 20 reactive armor charges of the Timbersaw. He's just way too big.
It's kind of... I think the reason this game is this one-sided is that Boom!ID keep trying to...
They're playing like they got the draft of game 1?
No, they're trying to pressure the Timbersaw away, but they don't have enough resources or the right ones to actually do it. So I think they're just better off being... just pretending he isn't there, and they have to pressure the lanes. It's kind of... Your example earlier was really good. I feel like it's... You get 10-pick Brooded, and you have a lineup that can't deal with Brood. You have to try to double down on destroying the rest of the map if you can't solve this Brood problem, and then hope to recover somehow. But this game, they keep running to Timbersaw's lane, and OG is like, cool, we'll just bring a couple of heroes too, and we'll win every fight 3-on-4. Like, you're not winning. Our Timbersaw counts to 3 heroes right now, so...
You think Lacoste is going to be happy with the 13-minute Bloodstone build-up over on Topson? Is this item still trash when you're 13 minutes in?
I think he's really good on Timbersaw. I don't know what the hell this is on about. He's a hater. This heal is super good on this hero. The new Bloodstone heal, it's very nice.
It's like never-ending survival of Timbersaw.
Yeah.
The regeneration's fantastic, and then you got this burst heal. So even if you think you're gonna bring him down low, he just triggers it back up again, builds up the reactive armor charges.
He's not dying this game.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Well,
see
they have no burst damage that can actually reach him before the armor charges come up.
And he's bind to hood now, and then he's invincible.
Yeah. Well, Elder Titan's in trouble. Jirak can easily silence him up.
BoomID look lost in this game.
Yeah. But they still keep fighting.
Oh, double chip.
Oh yeah, that's way too powerful. Bouncing through. And you got some frostbite, and they still don't separate it with the waveform forward. They can get the kill onto Jirax, that'll mean something, but Tops is still standing his ground, jumping through, avoiding the ship. He's got the last little bit of a gift in the form of the Frost Armor. Tiny is low, Notal believes he can just solo him up inside the river. They just try and keep the Timbersaw away. Seb has now finally arrived. But meanwhile, on bottom lane, ILTV has just been pushing the tier 2 tower, chilling out and just farming up. He actually bought a Vlads and hasn't joined a team fight yet.
Yeah, so I think there was a bit of miscommunication. OG have been building 2 Vlads. The Magnus almost has a Vlads too. Now he's like, oh, we have Vlads.
So, yeah, okay, I guess I go pipe.
So he's turning into a pipe and has a casual Basilius here, and it doesn't really matter for the state of this game anyway. They could kind of destroy a couple of items and probably be fine. That's another kill from ILTV. We'll grab the Wisp very easily with the help of Jirax. Now they're going to connect into mid. I imagine Roshan is on the menu here. Just tank it with Timbersaw, kill it with Jugger over time. They're not the fastest at doing it, but Empower plus Vlads is good enough. 99% win probability is probably where I would place this game as well.
Yeah, 15 minutes in and you already got that win probability.
Yeah, it's just... Can't question Dota Plus, man. Yeah. I've seen this game before.
So I have a 99% chance of having a 75% win rate on predictions.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is that still crap?
I mean, it depends. What do you think is best? A 75% win rate with 4 games, or a 65% win rate with 12 games, for example?
I think 65 on 12 would be very, very respectable.
Yeah. I don't know what the good scores from yesterday are. I think Killer Pigeon ended yesterday on 80%.
Okay.
Across the game. So he had the best score. I think I was 67.
I could have been at 100% if I didn't ride and die with you.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Morphling's in a hell of a lot of trouble up on top lane as dead for 30 seconds and in towards the mid. It's Juggernaut up against Io and Tiny. He's got the Aegis Immortal, so no fear into ILTV. That tier 2 tower is
Mag Dagger. I think OG are going to try to end the game now, actually. They know they're this far ahead. They're feeling this game.
Oh god, does he Omni Slash that?
He doesn't have it, does he?
Yeah, you're right, he doesn't. It's still on cooldown for the last one. Last time he Omni Slash Dio.
Yep. This is level 4 Empower. We haven't even talked about Empower this game. It hasn't even felt like it was a necessary factor for OG to win, but they even have that backing them up after crushing the lanes. They also have the strongest farming tool in the game, so...
They're going after Kunkka. The Sentry Ward was dropped, so Notal can pull him back in with the Sinister Gauge and then just commits the Lich Ultimate. No need to combine it with Jirax. They just want to kill on the Kunkka, which now allows him to go high ground. With the Aegis Immortal on Juggernaut, he's the front liner.
I always try to look at what both teams can do in these situations. I think this is the best play they have.
That was nice, but the RP gonna catch out too, skewer him back over again, and then quickly into the spin. The ET Splitter will buy a little bit of space, but not really enough. Io has to buy back to try and keep the Tiny alive, but the Sinister Gauge of Notal just pulling back FBZ. They cannot walk away from this.
I think that was the absolutely best play BoomID had, and they still died 2 heroes. But there was no better play than bursting the Jugger there. He's the only guy hitting the tower. You can't reach the back lines. You will get RP'd. They get that one-shot burst kill, but now they have no follow-through, so they will lose at least 1 lane of barracks. Question is if they can somehow find a team fight off of this on maybe try to get the Jugger. He's actually relatively low here.
Yeah, it's 8 seconds till Tiny's back up again. He's the one that caused the problems. They don't really want to stick around for the fight unless they can get a lot more. Here comes the ship, and look at it again. Juggernaut being the primary target. ET will die, but a very quick buyback. Seb already committed the RP. So now Boom actually have a little bit more strength to fight until they lose the Io. They've lost the regeneration, but FBZ, there's your burst power into Dirac. Take care of these supports. No-Tail's going to be the next one to fall with the last little tree clip.
Just kill Thompson,
but now,
guys.
can you kill the raid boss? Seb is waiting to help out with any kind of shockwaves. It's like, screw the raid boss. Look for the Magnus. He's underneath the creep wave on top. Don't look at the Timbersaw.
I can see Thompson's face. I can see Thompson's face right now. He's actually, I bet he's just laughing. Yeah, it's like, he didn't even go for the hood. He went Holy Locket, so he has even more regeneration. He's currently sitting on 74 HP regen and 40 armor, and he also has the Bloodstone that he can activate to heal. What's that? 60% of his max health. That's about, is that 1300 or something?
It's ridiculous what it is. They're going to go again. He'll chain himself up and away from the ship. Not getting hit by that, still standing his ground. The rest of OG is still wondering, like, do we need to actually come and help? Because they're battling up in the top river. They're looking for their own kill. They've caught out the Elder Titan. So Seb and Dirac will work together. Just Morphling is like, maybe I can become the powerhouse if I just turn myself into Thompson. I'm Thompson, right?
Oh, this is some of the most absurd stuff I've seen in a while. He's actually literally 1 on 5, and he doesn't care.
Yep.
He can't die.
Well, there's your Chain Frost, going to bounce up and back down again. It wasn't the perfect control, yeah, you're right. No Soulbind control, so Io just relocates the Morphling back into relative safety inside the fountain, but at this rate, I think Thompson may even be able to tank that as well.
It might be a bit too ambitious right now.
Yeah, we're still 20 minutes into a game.
But, I mean, if he wants to, I'd like to see it. I want to see how long he can survive in there. Not too long, I think. No, he's pretty
jumping up towards the top, looking for that initial target. Once again, the Juggernaut's the primary target, and they're looking to hold him in a little bit longer as FBZ. Can someone finally put him down? 180. But the 3-man RP does not work, and into the Omni Slash. They have the damage, but Kunkka has the Invis, walks himself away. Io and Morphling will not be so lucky for this, and Timbersaw, it's already GG. Calling it to the end, but 20 minutes and 33 seconds. That was domination by OG.
Yeah, their strategy in this game is super good. They won the lanes, they put the lanes in a good way. Played around. I think, once again, I feel like this game didn't need to be this one-sided, but Boom ID kind of played into their hand by constantly fighting around